Getting a tattoo on the body is an irreversible decision. Even if it is possible to remove the tattoo, seeing how it looks on the body before getting a tattoo will definitely affect your decision because of the scar and pain it leaves. Fortunately, thanks to applications such as Photoshop, we can see how the tattoo looks on the body before getting a tattoo. I've added a body image to the scene and I've added 3 sample tattoo images. Now we are going to place the tattoo on this body and try to make the tattoo look like a real tattoo. First of all, in order to transfer the tattoos to the body form, in order to transfer the body curves to the tattoos, we will need to make an edit on the body image. First of all, I'm going to remove the tattoos and I'm going to create a copy of the body. We need to blur it. I select Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, which will blur the main image. And we can adjust the degree of blur here. We can leave it at about these values. We can leave it at the level where the image will be blurred in this way. Now we need to save this image as PSD. File, Save As, and give the file name any name. I name it displacement to be specific and save this file as displacement.pst by clicking the Save button. Then we can delete this layer we just created. Now we are going to place the tattoos in order. Here is how I am placing this tattoo. This tattoo doesn't have body shapes at the moment. First of all, we need to reveal the body shape of this tattoo through the PSD file we just saved. In the menu above, I go to Filter, under Distort, I select Displace. And when I select this option, a window like this will appear. We can leave it with the default values in this window. You can also try with different values. Then I select the PSD file I just saved on my computer, displacement.pst, and click Open. When I click this button, as you can see, the body curves will match the tattoo. If you don't like this look, you can change these values by clicking on the word displace. For example, I make it 5 by 5. I select the displacement.pst file again. This shape looks a bit better to my eye. If you think the body form doesn't match the tattoo, you can double click on displace to change the values and check again. Make sure the tattoo is a smart object. Now we can move on to coloring the tattoo. Before coloring the tattoo, we need to change the blend option here from normal to soft light. After selecting this, either double click on this layer or right click and select blending options to get to the layer style panel. It actually looks good even this way. Let's check the color overlay option. Here again, I change the blend mode to linear burn and you can choose the color of the tattoo you want to see. More precisely, we need to observe the effect of the tattoo here by clicking on the colors. If you make it white, it will stay as it is. If you darken the white color, the darker you make it, the darker the tattoo will be. It looks good as it is. You can change the color later if you want. I close this color palette by clicking on the OK button. Another adjustment we are going to make here is outer glow. Let's check this. We are going to change the white color. We can choose from color values close to the color values here. I'm going to close this color palette by clicking the OK button. We will leave the blend mode as normal. Let's set the opacity value here, about 50. Let's set the size value to 4. We are done with this window. Let's close this by clicking the OK button. As you can see, there are some effects here and the displace feature is also here. If you look closely at the tattoo, I can say that it looks very nice. Now let's make another tattoo as an example. We already have the effects above. We don't have to redo them one by one. First of all, let's do the placement of the tattoo so that it is on the biceps. It can overflow for now because the arm has a round shape. Let's drag the effects right here by pressing the Alt key and let's get it here without any effort. We can reset this by double clicking on displace and pressing OK again. Then selecting displacement.pst. We can make it fit here. When we look closely, you will see the overflows. We will use the mask to prevent these overflows. I click once on the mask and I take the brush tool and I erase these parts. I erase the parts that are outside the arm. We can erase a little bit by lowering the opacity value a little bit. It looks good when we look at it, but we will see that it doesn't look like it because we didn't change it as soft light. I select the layer and select soft light. If I change it as soft light, it will look like the tattoo we just did. In this way, I think it is okay. Now let's do our last example. I want to remove these and place this image again on the upper chest. It's a complex image. Let's see how this image looks on the body. Let's change the soft light value beforehand and I drag the previous effects here by pressing the Alt key. I drag the displace and I double click on the displace and select the PSD file, and as a result, we can see that the wolf image looks like this. That's it for this video. In this video, I showed you how tattoos look realistic on the body through Photoshop. I hope it was useful. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.